Hello there, welcome to the Boss TV. I hope you're all good. Africa is home to several countries with formidable military forces that play a crucial role in ensuring regional security and stability. Evaluating the strength of a military requires considering various factors, including budget, manpower, equipment, and geopolitical influence. It is worth noting that comparing militaries is subjective, and putting together a true and accurate ranking is almost impossible given the variety of factors required for a proper analysis. In this video, we'll see top 5 strongest militaries in East Africa. Number 5 is Rwanda Defense Force (RDF). It was previously a liberation force known as Rwanda Patriotic Army (RPA). Since 2002, the RDF adopted a joint structure with a Chief of Defense Staff at the helm of the defense force. He is the joint commander. The structure and force design offer flexibility required to respond to a variety of contingencies. The RDF comprises of Rwanda Army Land Force, the small rotary wing Rwanda Air Force, the Rwanda Reserve Force and special units. The RDF structure reflects a joint headquarters, commands and institutions placed directly under CDS, service headquarters and various staff groups. The Rwandan Defense Forces (RDF) is on an aggressive plan to professionalize, following withdrawal of Rwandan armed forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo in October 2009. The government completely restructured the military and launched an ambitious plan to demobilize thousands of soldiers. At end states, Rwanda will have a small, well-equipped army of 2,000 soldiers and reserve force of more than 100,000 soldiers. Military expenditure in Rwanda increased to $178 million in 2023 from $176 million in 2022. Number 4 is Uganda People's Defense Force. The Uganda People's Defense Force (UPDF), previously known as National Resistance Army, is the armed forces of Uganda. The International Institute for Strategic Studies estimated the UPDF had a total strength of 40,000 to 45,000, consisting of land forces and an air wing. The origins of Ugandan armed forces can be traced to 1902, when Uganda Battalion of the King African Rifles was formed. Ugandan soldiers fought as part of King's African Rifles during the First World War and Second World War. In 1977, before Uganda-Tanzania War, the Ugandan armed forces were reportedly consisting of 20,000 land forces personnel, with 2 4-battalion brigades and 5 other battalions of various types, plus training regiment. There were a total of 35 T-34, T-55 and M4 Sherman medium tanks. Ugandan Air Force was 1,000 strong, with 21 MiG-21 and 10 MiG-17 combat aircrafts. Ugandan Army collapsed in the face of Tanzania's People Defense Force (TPDF) onslaught, and their serviceable aircraft were taken to Tanzania. Military expenditure in Uganda increased to $976 million in 2023 from $924 million in 2022. Number 3 is Tanzania People's Defense Force (TPDF). TPDF is a military force of United Republic of Tanzania. It was established in 1964 following a mutiny by former colonial military force, the Tanganyika Rifles. From its inception, it was ingrained in the troops of new TPDF that were a people's force under civilian control. Unlike some of its neighboring countries, Tanzania has never suffered a coup d'etat or civil war. The TPDF mission is to defend Tanzania and every Tanzanian, especially the people and their political ideology. The TPDF's mission is to defend Tanzania and every Tanzanian, especially the people and their political ideology. By the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout, and fame, a disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy. War broke out between Uganda and Tanzania in October 1978, with several Ugandan attacks across the border, culminating in an invasion of Kagera salient. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. The Tanzanian military launched their offensive in mid-February 1979. They steadily advanced, killing dozens of Ugandan soldiers and destroying large amounts of their materials. The Tanzanian military captured Kampala on April 11, 1979 and overthrew Idi Amin's government. The fall of Kampala marked the first time in the post-colonial history of the continent that an African state seized the capital of another African country. The war ended on June 3, 1979. In 2024, Tanzania set a budget for military expenditure of $1.2 billion US. Number 2 is KDF, Kenya Defense Forces. They are made up of Kenya Army, Kenya Navy, and Kenya Air Force. The current KDF was established and its composition stipulated in Article 241 of 2010 Constitution of Kenya. The President of Kenya is the Commander-in-Chief of the KDF, and the Chief of Defense Forces is the highest-ranking military officer and the principal military advisor of the President of Kenya. The KDF is regularly deployed in peacekeeping and war-fighting missions. For example, the counterinsurgency fights against Al-Shabaab in Somalia since 2011. As of 2006, the Kenyan Army had 5 brigades, 2 infantry, 1 with 3 battalion and 1 with 2 battalion. The Kenyan Army Armored Brigade with 3 battalion, and the Kenyan Army Artillery Brigade with 2 battalion and the Engineer Brigade with 2 battalion. Military expenditure in Kenya decreased to $999 million in 2023 from $1.1 billion in 2022. Number 1 is Ethiopian National Defense Force, ENDF. This is a combined military force of Ethiopia. ENDF is consisted of 10 command forces, which is controlled by the Chief of General Staff. The Ethiopian army origins and military traditions date back to earliest history of Ethiopia. Due to Ethiopia's location between the Middle East and Africa, it has long been in the Middle Eastern and Western politics and has been subject to foreign invasion and aggression. The Battle of Adwa is the best-known victory of Ethiopian forces over foreign invaders. It maintained Ethiopia's existence as an independent state. Fought on March 1, 1896 against the Kingdom of Italy near the town of Adwa, it was the decisive battle of the First Ethiopian War. During the scramble for Africa, Ethiopia remained the only nation that had not been colonized by European colonial powers. However, with Ethiopia surrounded by European colonies, the necessity of ensuring that the Ethiopian army was well maintained became apparent to Ethiopian government. Military expenditure in Ethiopia increased to $1.2 billion in 2023 from $1.03 billion in 2022. So there you have it, 5 strongest militaries in East Africa. Thank you for watching, and if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, share and subscribe to The Boss TV. See you next time, my friend. Until then, as always, bye bye.